It's a brand new year. 2025 is here. Charity, they say, begins at home. So let me start from home. Where is home now? Is here my home or my place is my home? Good morning, Moses.
Good morning to you.
Good morning,
Good
Fina.
morning,
Good morning to you.
Okay, good morning, my beautiful wife. I know you are watching me. And Happy New Year to you and my lovely kids and my lovely children. Now, this is a brand new year, and I want to use this opportunity to welcome everyone, Nigerians, globally, worldwide, to a prosperous 2025. And this is the first edition of This Morning on Voice of the People Television. We're excited to have you with us. I am Chukwuma Occrp. And on the show this morning, we have very interesting topics, quite interesting, put together for your listening pleasure. And the first topic is that the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, Occrp, has ranked President Tinubu third most corrupt leader in the world. I think a lot of people will take that with just 18 months in office and he's the third most corrupt. Anyway, that's what we are going to look into in the course of this show. Fina?
Interesting you say, and it's super interesting also to know that some Nigerians have come up to say, no, we are not going to take that report. How can you wake up to say that the president of Nigeria, he made it to be the number 3rd president, on that radar of the most corrupt leaders. All right, also on our radar this morning, we have to touch on how the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, they've come up to urge government to tackle insecurity, corruption, and economic challenges in 2025, even as some Nigerians have also come up to say that 2025 will usher in better good tidings for Nigerians, saying that this year, the way it is, we're going to have, enough resources. Insecurity will be kept to nip to the bud. Also, corruption issues will also be forgotten. And not just that, our economic challenges will be mitigated to the latter. I am Fina Okechukwu.
All right. Oh, well, it feels good to be here. It feels good to be alive. It's a brand new year. And I woke up this morning. Well, I went to bed this morning, actually, and then woke up this morning. And then I had to remind myself, 2025, 2025, 2025. So I don't come on air to say 2024. So it's 2025, Happy New Year to you. Feels good to be here. And yes, like Chukwuma rightly said, it's a prosperous year. I don't care what you think, but say to yourself that it is a prosperous year. Well, now you know the conversations we'll be delving into this morning. But there are a few things I need you to know, especially if you're just tuning in for the first time. Check us out on YouTube. We are Voice of the People TV. I'm sure that's where you're watching from. But do well to subscribe so you can see us again and again and again. And then on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. That's X.com, Instagram, and the rest of them. Facebook as well. So it's a VOP TV Live. And then we have a number that you would have scroll on your screen very shortly. With that number, you can send 1-minute videos to us of you commenting on the conversation that we're having here today and other days, of course. So save that one up. Save it as VOP TV number. So the number is 0904 473 2605. Once again, 0904 473 2605. So with that number, you can be part of the conversation we're having here every time and every day. Brand new year, but issues in Nigeria have persisted. All right. Well, we go to Rivers State now. I do believe we started 2024 talking about Rivers State. Yes, because of the turmoil in the state at the time from October into the new year and the presentation of budgets. And here we are again, talking about Rivers State. Well, the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, presented a 1.18 trillion naira budget for 2025. And he did that to the 3-member factional House Assembly. Well, the presentation made to Speaker Victor Okojumbo and other faction members follows Fubara's continued rejection of the 27-member faction loyal to his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. Well, the opposition, APC, has accused the governor of illegality in his actions, which come after a political rift and an impeachment attempt by the pro-Wike lawmakers. Well, we touched on this earlier on in the week. Yes, we touched on this. I think his daring issues. He's going ahead to commission projects, regardless of the fact that a court has said, look, represent 2024 budget, which he did not do. And now he has presented a 2025 budget. And I do believe that the man will just continue to do what he's doing. And maybe somewhere down the line, the camped or not the camped lawmakers will, fall in line. I do believe somewhere down the line, maybe maybe before the end of his first 4 years, they might fall in line. But it's still laughable.
It's quite laughable. I've been giggling, honestly. I can't hold back my laughter. It was actually yesterday that we talked about it, because it was day before yesterday that he presented the budget, and I just looked at it. I created like a scenario, and you have 3 people. One is the speaker. You have 2 other people sitting in plenary trying to approve a budget, 1.18 trillion naira for a state. Yeah. And I'm beginning to think, what will be the reaction of the other 27 lawmakers? Because they'll be watching the plenary on TV when it is played on TV. And we have, and the Nyesom Wike camp is raising storm here and there. No, this is an illegality. It cannot happen and all of that.
But it's happening.
It's happening. And I like what Moses said, that this is a brand new year. But the issues in Nigeria never go away. Moses, this is a brand new issue, for a brand new year. It's quite interesting that we have an assembly of 31, 32 people, and you have 3 people supervising, and everything goes on smoothly. Close to 1 year now, and nothing happens.
I'm happy you actually told that line, Chuma, because that's what I wanted to point out. I want to tell us that it's not how big the house is. I'm not looking at how big this is. It's not how far. It should be how well. Now, if Fubara, being the governor of River State, can pull out or organize a local government election without the presence of the police, and it went free and fair, I think that man actually...
Did it go free and fair?
Yeah, it did, because we didn't hear... People didn't come up to say...
There were no issues of violence.
There was no issues to start with.
We can't... there was no violence. We didn't have people snatching ballot boxes. And
we didn't get that people are going to court. No one has gone to court. We didn't hear go to court.
It was landslide.
So it doesn't matter. Elections can turn out landslide.
We didn't hear that word of go to court. And also, like you rightly pointed out, if you check it out, over the fact that the people that walked out, those are cross-carpeted. They left the party and they left the State House of Assembly, and it's more like things are falling in place for the people of River State with just the handful they have. I'm talking about the 3 persons that they have. I think I need to applaud him for being able to put that state in order the way it is, even with the restriction from the courts that says we have to, take out this and that and all that, not giving him the FAC allocation, and he was able to increase bonuses for the people who are working in that state to like 100,000. Man, I'm not taking sides.
I think you can applaud him for what he's doing.
For all the good things he's doing for the people.
This is clearly anti-democratic. There is no way we can justify it, or anyone can justify it. A certain group of people in River State have remained unrepresented for close to 1 year now. You have 3 people supervising the affairs of the state. How are they holding the governor to account?
But he said that
the thing about this is that when you build a political culture of impunity, when society is patterned along certain lines, it becomes difficult, to make a reversal. Anytime you try to make a reversal, you are confronted by a monster. It looks like you are trying to do something that is extraordinary. Meanwhile, you are trying to set a pace, create a trajectory that benefits everyone. It's unfortunate that we have an assembly, that is supervised by 3 people, when you have 32 members on the whole. It's quite undemocratic. I don't know how to the superlative with which to use to paint it. Looks like I said the other day, looks like the tension in River State has stalled. But I'm expecting that we'll see more turbulence in the politics of River State in this year, 2025, because certain judgments, judgment has been reserved for January 25 to determine the fate of the 27 lawmakers and all of that. There's also another judgment that is at the appeal court trying to determine the propriety or otherwise of representing the budget and all of that. So I expect that we'll see a more turbulent River State. But like I said, I also expect the leaders, the elders of Rivers State to wade into the crisis.
Of course.
This is the time they have to do that. Otherwise, things could snowball and spin out of control.
But if you ask me, I'll say the constituents of those people who, decided to leave the party to cross carpet to another party, they know what the Constitution say about that. They know what the Electoral Act also say. I think the constituents should hold them responsible. Why? What happened? We voted the people into this position, so why do you leave it?
What I was going to say is, you say they are not represented, but they haven't come out to say, look, our interest is not being represented. I mean, the constituents of the 27 lawmakers,
yes.
they've not come out to complain. They've not come out to say, look, we need a re-election done. We need our people to be represented. Well, I think they are pleased with the governance that is going on so far. That's what I feel.
We haven't even heard anything about people who are being marginalized and all that.
All right, let's go on to another conversation now. A federal high court in Abuja has granted the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, permission to freeze 24 bank accounts over allegations of terrorism financing. Well, Justice Emeka Wite approved the application after EFCC lawyer Mata Babatunde moved an ex parte motion. The freezing of the account is set for 90 days, pending the completion of investigations. Well, the accounts linked to Lawrence Lucky Eromosele are under investigation for kidnapping. He's under investigation for kidnapping, money laundering, and terrorism financing. The EFCC counsel, Ekele Ihanacho SAN, revealed that preliminary investigation showed the accounts were tied to illegal activities, including manipulating the value of the naira through virtual cryptocurrency exchanges. Well, this is I really don't have anything to say to this because it's an investigation still ongoing. If they freeze the accounts and they go ahead to conduct investigations, if the person is found guilty, he should be made to pay for the crimes committed. And if he's not, then he will be let off the hook. It's just for a few days. The
only challenge I have on this particular one, I could recall when, I think last week or thereabout, or 2 weeks ago, when a court came up to tell ICPC they don't have the right to hold, or to freeze someone's account, to the length of days that they did, saying that they would have done their investigation before coming up to say we are doing this. And I also fault Nigerian government and Nigerian anti-graft agency to this whole one, because I don't see the reason to wake up to say you have someone for kidnapping, money laundering, and terrorism financing, and you've not done your investigations proper. You've not done the needful. I hope every day that we're going to get to that point whereby we're going to court and we're saying these are the evidence you have against you, and this is the reason you're being nabbed. You shouldn't be holding someone before you now start going over to look for evidence to come or bring in the court for you to be able to make your point. I think we need to grow. This is 2025, so I hope that we should grow past the old doings and embrace the new one. Because if we happen to be in other clime, for example, there was a skit we saw where a girl said something about if we're to be somewhere in the US or thereabout, they will have the evidence before coming up to pick you. If we're to be in another country like China, they will pursue you and make sure they get to you. But in Nigeria, 90 days, a whole 90 days for investigation. Why haven't we done this investigation before coming up with this whole, statement? That's all I can say on this.
Anyway, the fact of it is this. I'll look at it from the corruption angle, 24 bank accounts, and I'm sure that the EFCC will have done their due diligence, before coming out to freeze these accounts. Of course, they don't just freeze accounts. It's a court order that grants the power for a bank to freeze an account. So if EFCC understands that 24 banks might have been compromised, 24 bank accounts might have been compromised by way of being used for money laundering and terrorism financing and all of that. Oh, well, it's expedient that they do the right thing, which they have done, which is going to court. And the essence of freezing the account is that so that the people that are involved will be hamstrung. You discover that most times, when you do this type of things uninhibited, unconstrained, the people that are involved have access to finances, to funding, to fight back. And if you keep fighting back corruption, there is no way we can win the fight against corruption. It's a whole lot 24 bank accounts. This is not the only one. A lot of people. But on the flip side of it, let's also understand that some names have been released. Sorry, that a sovereign country, outside Nigeria, gave a list of sponsors of terrorism to the government, and up until this moment, the government put that list under the carpet. Nobody knows who is on that list. The ones that were released, we just papered over it, and up until this moment, nobody has heard anything about it. I also want EFCC to come out. When they conduct the investigation conclusively, they should come out and tell Nigerians, look, this is our finding, this is what we found out. Whether this person has been used for terrorism, financing, money laundering, and all of that, then the prosecution should have free reign in the law courts. That's it for me. Oh, well, I think that's... Moses, you have something to say?
Oh, no.
Okay, now that's how far we can go on banter. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at major headlines in the papers today. Today is January 1, 2025. I know the newspapers have a lot to tell us. Now, let's go. Don't go away with us.
Thank you so much for staying with us. It's still VOP this morning. And looking at the cover pages of the national dailies this morning, I would like to start off from the Daily Independent newspaper. And the banner headline on the cover page of the Daily Independent newspaper today reads, Tinubu assures of reducing cost of food, essential drugs in 2025. Riders to that story says indicators point to positive, encouraging outlook for country. Declares youth confab to begin in the first quarter of the year. Most access to credit for individuals, critical sectors of economy. FG to establish national credit COI for financial institutions, enterprises. The story is on page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And the window headlines are, Nigeria's stock market outpaces inflation, gains 37.65% in 2024. Market cap rises to 62.76 trillion naira. 2025, PDP charges Tinubu to address insecurity, food, fuel, and food crisis. I will take that again. 2025, PDP charges Tinubu to address insecurity, fuel, and food crisis. And we have other headlines on the cover page of the Daily Independent this morning to be, Atiku asks Nigerians to participate in safeguarding democratic principles. The story is on page 29 of the Daily Independent. Presidency says Tinubu's government concluded 2024 stronger than 2023. FG issues travel advisory for Nigerians planning to visit Australia. Interesting. Professor Aisha Mekudi emerges Uni Abuja Vice Chancellor. The story is on page 7 of the Daily Independent. And Bello Turji, terrorist leader, dead man walking, says military. I will take that again for emphasis' sake. Bello Turji, terrorist leader, dead man walking, says military. And we have another bold headline. There's a pictorial where we have so much beautiful fireworks and all that. And beneath that pictorial, we have another bold headline that reads that tax reforms may boost Nigeria's economy by $7.5 billion annually. And that is coming from experts. The writer to that says country's economic prospects will hinge on their execution. We'll have the last but not the least of the headlines. You'll find when you flip the cover page of the Daily Independent this morning. I didn't threaten Tinubu, says Bauchi governor. That is on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper this morning.
All right, so we'll go to the Nigerian Tribune now, and the banner headline there. NLC sets 2025 agenda for FG as Tinubu rallies Nigerians for positive prospects. Riders to that headline. NLC seeks wage review amid economic hardship. President says National Credit Guarantee Company coming to provide credit for individuals. Insists on necessary reforms to foster sustainable growth, prosperity, to unveil national values charter, youth confab. 2025 will sweep away years of hardship. Atiku. PDP to Tinubu, no need for New Year message. Void of solution to hardship. All right then. Okay. And then all right, on top of the masthead, we have issues, personalities that will shape Nigeria's business sector in 2025. Effective policy implementation to signal potential growth, improvements, manufacturing still contending FX volatility. High inflation, high energy prices, and infrastructure deficit. Nigeria oil sector to maintain growth, attract fresh investment. FAN and key players to shape aviation sector. All of these can be found in pages 4, 5, 6, 26, and 27. All right. And then you go further. Right there, yes, that banner, that's a picture there that says, welcome to 2025. And then you go further down, we have Maikudi appointed substantive Uni Abuja Vice Chancellor. Market capitalization adds 21.85 trillion naira in 2024. Troops neutralized 10,937 terrorists, rescued 7,063 hostages in 2024, DHQ says. PDP wants Tinubu IGP to prevail on Edo government over LG chairman's suspension. All right, these are the headlines on the cover page of Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, let's now move over to the Punch newspaper with a very punchy headline, banner headline. New Year message, Tinubu promises massive food production, 15% inflation in 2025. That story is on page 2. President pledges better access to credit, eyes $1 trillion economy. PDP taxed FG on insecurity, others. Now, beside the nameplate, you have Nigeria and life support when Tinubu took over. That's coming from Occrp. Occrp also said that he asked the president, and the president told him that he didn't know that Nigeria was in such a terrible shape before he became president. Oh, well, we'll talk more about that during the newspaper review. And you have the window headlines. 2027, opposition can't unseat Tinubu without measure, says PDP chair. Federal government invites Nigerian leader for talks to douse tension. That story is on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Federal government invites Nigerian leader for talks to douse tension. I hope it's not some kind of trap. Oh well. Punch appoints Wumi Tunde Obe, executive director. That story is on page 30. Now you also have pictorials there of Australians, Chinese, Koreans open New Year celebrations ahead of, other parts of the world. Now we have NERC orders this coast to buy 95% power generation. That story is on page 24. 2 arrested for defrauding Canada-based Nigerian of 110 million naira. That's huge. That story is on page 5. And finally, Lassa fever, cholera, others killed 952 in 2024, according to NCDC. That's all from the Punch newspaper, and that's how far we can go on newspaper headlines this morning. Join Moses and I by 9 o'clock for a more expanded review of the newspaper. Now we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about organized crime and corruption reporting project that has ranked President Tinubu 3rd most corrupt leader in the world. Please stay with us and don't go away.
Scintillating Christmas celebration and a prosperous New Year 2025.
from all of us, we just want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. Catch up with the latest topics making the buzz, the stories that tick, the trends. Let's let you in on why they are trending, from politics, entertainment, business, lifestyle, and more. Analyzing the trending stories with top eyeballs. Hashtag on Voice of the People Television, giving you an insight to everything and everyone Nigeria is talking about. Showing on VOP TV, 10 p.m. Monday to Friday. Hashtag if it's trending, we bring it on. Catch up with the latest topics making the buzz, the stories that tick, the trends. Let's let you in on why they are trending, from politics, entertainment, business, lifestyle, and more. Analyzing the trending stories with top eyeballs. Hashtag on Voice of the People Television, giving you an insight to everything and everyone Nigeria is talking about. Showing on VOP TV, 10 p.m. Monday to Friday. Hashtag if it's trending, we bring it on.
All right, welcome back. I'm glad to have you join us again as we get into the first major topic of discussion. Now, the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project has ranked Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the third most corrupt leader globally. This follows a global call by the Occrp for nominations to spotlight leaders accused of advancing criminal activities and worsening poverty. Kenyan President William Ruto topped the ranking, followed by former Indonesian President Joko Widodo, with Tinubu securing the third position. Now, the Occrp, which oversees a network of investigative journalists and activists, stated that the ranking was based on participant votes. Meanwhile, former Senator Shehu Sani and other supporters of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, have decried the ranking, describing it as an international campaign aimed at ridiculing and delegitimizing Tinubu's presidency. They argue that the ranking lacks substance and is based on online perspectives rather than verified evidence. Oh well, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has also said that the nation's economy acknowledged that the president acknowledged that the economic challenges he inherited were huge. He said this while addressing the state of the nation during a constituency briefing in his constituency, Occrp. He noted that the president was initially unaware of the depth of the crisis, but remains committed to reforms aimed at economic recovery. Akpabio expressed confidence in Tinubu's leadership, urging Nigerians to support his administration's effort to improve the country's fortunes. Oh well, we are joined in the studio to make sense of this topic by Barrister Darlington Agomo and Mr. Lawale Kundayo. Meanwhile, Barrister Darlington Agomo is a lawyer and VOP in-house analyst. Mr. Ekundayo is a political analyst and a farmer and an educationist. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on this show.
Good to be here. Happy New Year.
Barrister Darlington, let me use the opportunity to tell you Happy New Year. Prosperous 2025, and same goes to you, Mr. Ekundayo.
I hope so.
All right. Barrister Darlington, you heard it, Occrp. That our president is the third most corrupt. Do you believe Occrp? I mean, this man has just been in government for 18 months. How come he's number 3?
In fact,
Ruto has been in office for as long as Joko Widodo has been in government for more than 6 years or so. So why would suddenly a Tinubu that has not been in office for just 2 years, not quite 2 years, will rank number 3 globally?
In fact, I am surprised he didn't make it to number 1.
Should he?
Yes.
Why?
I am surprised. Because the ranking didn't just start with his presidency. It should have started when he was the Lagos State governor. Or have you forgotten?
No, but they are talking about country's leaders now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This thing don't happen. There are facts to what they are saying. Anybody who faulted that global report should give us an alternative. With the way he had been behaving since he came into office, with all the lies, Mr. Okoro, with all the lies and all the deceit, with all the money that we have been told, yes, we cannot see the evidence, we don't see the benefit. When I will ask you here, I ask you, brother, where is the money going to? Nobody answer me that question.
But Mr. Darlington, when you talk about all of this, are you aware that refineries that were comatose and not functional for more than 25 years are running, up and running in the life of this administration? Two refineries, Port Harcourt and Warri.
Mr. Gray, I started this new year. Which refinery is up and running? This one that is working in feast and start. Which refinery?
But at least it's working.
It's working how?
And when Nigerians are buying fuel.
No. Look, you cannot say that somebody that left to coma state and entered into ICU, that the person is making progress in his health.
Isn't the person? Isn't that person?
No, it's not. You just came out from coma and you now entered the ICU and somebody said, at least he's improving. What do you mean? Let the refinery work properly. You don't even need to advertise it. It will be there for everybody to see. Didn't you read what some people said at Warri? This Warri you are trying to praise now. You need to hear what a worker there told the journalists who went there to investigate what is going on. All this is just to cover. You see, one of the things I don't like is that an adult to telling lies, not to talk of a leader. There is nothing you are going to do that people will now say, okay, yes, we can follow you. Everything about this is all lies, 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 and lies. There is nothing they will tell you. You can say, okay, yes, my leader has spoken. I believe him.
But many Nigerians don't share your idea. People like Shehu Sani said, no, it's an attempt to delegitimize this administration and embarrass this administration.
Please, I have asked you, let him give me alternative. This is a man who said he will not probe anybody. With all the corruption he met on ground.
Would you hold that against him?
Yes,
which former president has probed the predecessor?
Oh my God, that is why you should be a reformer. That is the work of a reformer. That's why I don't believe in this reform.
Is it okay? If you don't believe that he's reforming?
No. If you're a reformer, that's where to start. Mr. Okoro, those who reform their country, they start from cleaning the obvious table.
Barrister.
If you cannot do that, then you are not doing anything.
Barrister, please allow me to chime in at this point. Is it the responsibility of the president to probe past the political office holders, or the responsibility of a security architecture like the DSS and the ICPC? If he starts to probe individuals, wouldn't you and other Nigerians say that he's witch hunting?
It's a lie. The box top on the table. If his administration is tainted with corruption, he's the one to clean it up. Not all these people we are mentioning. They are all answerable to him. If he doesn't give them the go ahead, none of them will do anything.
But they already have a mandate, don't they? But they have a mandate.
Which mandate?
The RCPC,
you heard what he
EFCC
said during his media chat, that he's not going to probe anybody, including the military. So,
what I heard him say is that the DSS is doing their job. That's what I heard him say.
No. He said he's not going to probe the military. When they asked him direct question, he said he's not going to probe the military. That is comfortable with what they are saying, what they are doing. That is not the answer of a man who wants to clean up the system.
Barrister Darlington, let's just not forget that this whole thing came up after an online voting. You know, it's not even by incontrovertible facts and figures. I hope you know that. It's more like online voting. So now, Barrister Darlington, are you now standing on, this online voting thing to also chime in on what these people are coming up to say about the present administration?
I am very sure if they should do that thing again, Tinubu will come number one. Okay. Because the facts are there.
All right.
Tell me any other president that have the kind of record the Tinubu has.
What facts are we even talking about?
The facts from the time of the election and all the facts that were brought from US to even after the election, how he became the president and all that. He told you that he sponsored himself. Where did the money come from? Didn't he say that?
Well, isn't he a businessman? Hasn't he been a businessman?
You cannot play the devil's advocate.
I'm not playing the devil's advocate.
Because what you are laughing at is a very bad record. It is impacting on me as a citizen of Nigeria that my president has been given such a title.
All right. So on that premise, let me bring Mr. Lawal Ekundayo into the conversation. Should Nigerians take this to a heart, or should Nigerians disregard this, or should Nigerians react to this this report by the OCCPR?
The thing is this: one, will Nigerians say otherwise? Will the common Nigeria, will the masses say otherwise? Even if they are told to vote, if there's a voting in Nigeria, only Nigeria will know so to vote this government. What do you think will be the voting? I'll give you a good example. I'm a farmer, and I reared chicken. Even last year, I reared chicken. I sold my chicken for 13,000. The highest.
Last year, 2024.
Yes.
No, 2023.
No, 2023. No, not last year. 2023. Sorry. Okay, I forgot it.
You forgot.
December 2023 to January. It was between 10,000, 13,000.
Okay.
Now,
in 2024.
Yes, in 2024, this December, it was like 30,000 there. Look at the mighty difference. Okay. I saw a turkey for 130,000. I began to wonder, what exactly? Okay, look, let's start with the chicken. So I have people who are earning 30,000. No, they just increased their salary this November from 25,000 to 30,000. In a big place like Ajao Estate. It's not a local place. Ajao Estate is a big place, full of big men and all those. And they pay these people 35,000 naira. They just increase the money. I have teachers working there, and they are earning 35,000 naira. Someone was telling me yesterday. Now, this person wants to buy a chicken.
How is that the fault of the president?
I'm coming
to the president being corrupt?
See, that's why I'm coming to that. You get it? See, when you are a leader, if they had praised the president, everybody, there will be a lot of jubilation, isn't it? If they had praised the president, if the president had been nominated as the best president in the world, there would have been a lot of clapping. Exactly. I remember the president coming up in Germany to say that they should put him in the Guinness Book of Record, which we are voting. We are also voting, there, so that the Guinness Book of Record will consider him. We are also voting in Nigeria. So when it's considered, nobody will come out and say no. His supporter will never say and come out and say no. He doesn't deserve it.
They will clap. So now, don't you think Nigerians are reacting because of the derogatory impact this will have on the nation? That its leader is being put on this corruption index list.
Let's be objective. That's why I keep saying these things. When you talk about leadership, when you talk about leadership, it comes to the followers. It depends on what the follower feel about the leader.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
I'm coming. Wait, before I finish. Now, look at this. This voting, it was done across the world, and we have so many countries across the world, plus Africa. Look at the number of countries across the world. So why did you think they pick Nigeria?
Are
you telling me that it's because they hate Nigeria?
No. Were you aware of the voting? Were you aware of this voting? Were you able to cast your own vote since it's done online? You just made mention of it now, cutting across the whole nation of the world. Were you aware of the voting? Now, don't you think that some people must have actually sit on their own to come up with these figures and push it out, given the fact that it wasn't made known for everyone to participate in? If what to, go by that train of being an online voter.
If you want to do your own, just do the sampling. Do Nigerian own. Let's see. You get it? Because in America they do voting, in Europe, whatever. They vote the government. There's an opinion poll. You get it? So let's do opinion poll. Let the press go out. Let's give everybody opportunity to vote. Let's see, and then let Nigerians say what is in their mind concerning the government. Let's do the voting. So if it contradicts what this organization brought, and then we can say no, what you have said is not objective. But if it is in line with it, then we say it's objective. So let Nigerians vote. Do you know? Look at when the president the president is in Lagos. Come and see queue. Do you know what our eyes showed on there? Come and see the queue. Vehicle could not pass very well.
No, Mr. Kunda, like Moses said, I want us to interrogate how the president became the third most corrupt. We are not looking at issues of governance now. We are looking at him as a person.
There were three things.
And the fact that, look, Occrp has come out to say, look, this thing was voted globally based on perspectives and perceptions. Now, don't you think that, I don't know the I don't know the data, that they got, with which they used to arrive at this conclusion. But don't you think that people that voted were relying on perception, not reality? More like what Fina said.
I won't believe that, because when I read that news on Sahara Reporter's website, they mentioned some other things, such as Chicago drug allegation. They mentioned the certificate issue. They mentioned that election, how the election came on board. They mentioned the things like the purchase of those aircrafts. Even they compare it with the American one, that when America has 2, Nigeria has 10 plus extra 1. You get it coming on board, where they know that there's overspending in governance.
Okay, based on that, I'm happy that you mentioned about one tangible thing that we can hold on, the aircraft of a thing, the escalade of a thing and all of that. Don't you think, is it proper, to judge the president based on that? Because these things are state properties. It's not going home with them. The aircraft is national aircraft owned by Nigeria. The Escalade is owned by the federal government of Nigeria. The yacht is owned by the federal government of Nigeria. So don't you think that they are trying to transfer some kind of responsibility? Because the president hasn't said, these things belong to me.
Good. Now the question is, let's look at it this way. Let me say, a father who has children at home, and the children are suffering. They are seriously not feeding well. They are suffering. And the father keep buying vehicles.
No, you have gone back to the issue of governance now. We are trying to interrogate corruption tendencies.
That's part of corruption now, because when this thing, when you are made a leader, You are not just made a leader to grow fat. You are made a leader to supervise across board and make sure that everybody you get is taken care of. That is what governance is about.
Right.
That's why you have criticisms.
What I wanted us to see is, was there a particular point where Occrp came out to say, look, the president was tried and he was found guilty for corrupt enrichment. He took a certain amount of money from state coffers and did something for himself and all of that.
Wait. I'm coming. Who is the minister for petroleum? I mean, who is the minister for petroleum?
The president, of course.
Is the minister for. So when was the last time the petroleum ministry ever, was
No, we should be asking you if you have.
I've not heard about it now.
Okay, so does that amount to corruption?
It's part of corruption, because if you are
part of the president, or
because the president is the minister.
Okay.
You get it. Apart from the fact that the president oversees everything, the president is also the minister of petroleum, and this ministry have not been audited. So you wonder why has it not been? It's a common thing. You get it, to audit an account.
Yeah, but we also know that the NNPCL has not been audited even when Buhari was there.
That is why you have a new person who could have left Buhari to be there for the next 100 years.
No, but
that's why we're changing.
According to the Constitution of Nigeria,
that's why they put it there. So that that is why they put it there. So that when you spend 8 years, another person that is coming in, you get it. We have to look at where you stop from, where you stopped, and then so if you stop on a bad ground.
Okay.
For example, look at what Akpabio was saying when he's in his state, saying something like the president was not aware of when he got the economy. It was when he got here that the NASA was going to begin to put things in place. What's the meaning? Why you would say something like that?
Okay, that's your perspective. But let me take you up on something that you said. As a farmer, you talked about the price of your
chicken
and turkey. Turkey, we know in December 2024, turkey was going for 130,000 naira. Chicken was going for about 30, 40.
30.
But the president, if I recall, came out with some measures to give fertilizers to farmers, and these things were shared. Bags of rice were distributed to ministers. States got some. Weren't they shared? Wait, are you not aware of fertilizers and such produce distributed to states? Were they shared or not? Did the government give out these things?
See, if it is given out, you get it. People will come on board.
Did the government give out these things?
Because if I'm not aware, then definitely I would say no. Because I'm not aware. Let me tell you something. I keep saying it. I'm challenging with the minister. You get it, of agriculture.
My question actually is, if the government of the day gives out fertilizers to those that are representatives of the people, and these things don't get to the people, should the government be held responsible?
Totally.
It should be held responsible.
Yes. Because one, it's not your money. It's public fund. So there must be accountability. So if you spend it, and what you spend it for is not shown, or it doesn't get to where you want it to get to, it stops on your desk. If you refuse to follow up, that means you are incompetent in your job.
Okay.
You get it. That means you are manipulative. You could be corrupt. Like maybe you decide to do it that way, or maybe you are careless about your office, so you just abandon it. Well, I don't care what happens. Let me just give it out and forget about it. You get it. That is why it boils to the desk of the president.
All right, now, Barrister Darlington, let me also bring you into this conversation. When Mr. Lawale Kundaya was pointing out some of the things, which these people stand on, I'm talking about the Occrp used to set up the reason for this. All right, he made mention of a whole lot of things, and they were all more like allegedly, Yes, we have the issue of the Chicago drug thing, still allegedly. We have that of the certificate forgery, still under, And as a lawyer, I want you to tell us what this really pretends, because we know that we don't wake up to say things until the court, says this is what it is. If the court did not pass judgment, then how come that OCC, ROP will use those things as a yardstick to measure our president for being corrupt?
Vina, whenever you enter plea bargain, it is an admission of guilt. You don't want to go to jail. You want a soft landing. I don't know how else to interpret this thing. what was forfeited and what was the reason. You cannot forfeit money from drug business and you are telling me it was not concluded in court, this and that. What if you have made it impossible for the court to conclude your matter? Or have we not seen it in Nigeria here, where people will block their trial? The first thing that happened immediately Tinubu got into office was the raid at EFCC office in Ikoyi here, where some files were carried away by the DSS. Or was it not in the news? Did you not see it? Did you not hear it? So what are we talking about? Even the man who is the managing director of Alpha Beta, he carried their file and handed it over to EFCC to see all the fraud they have been committing in that office. And when his life was threatened, the man ran away to abroad. Did you not hear? Did you not see such things? Just from 2 months back, Financial Times of London cried out that they don't know the source of Tinubu's humongous wealth. I read it. I saw it. They don't know the source of his humongous wealth. What does that tell you? If you are making money and nobody can trace the source, please, how do you define corruption?
Barrister Darlington, you know that before.
You don't think that means that he's just blessed?
Blessed.
Blessed by who?
Spiritual.
No, what we're asking is this, Barrister Darlington.
This into a joke. It's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
Yes, it has gone international.
No, he could be one that keeps to himself.
No, you and I have been condoning it. That is the reason why these things are out there now. If you cover it, the international community will not cover it. It's only Nigeria that something can happen. That somebody in that house will be making money, and none of you journalists could trace
exactly the point. Do you know? Are you aware that Nigerians believe and assert that there are many Nigerians that are wealthier than Dangote, but they choose to remain silent and quiet?
No, you cannot, Mr. Occrp. As long as you are getting to that height, they must know where your money is coming from. You mean in the US, that is what obtains. In China, is that what obtains? In UK or even Canada, that a man will become a billionaire. And the government and the society doesn't know the source of his income.
Barrister, you know that before solid evidence or conjunctions can be overturned. You know that.
You don't know what even EFCC was set up to. That if you see you living above your means, they should rein you in and ask you questions. Is that not true?
Okay, Barrister, I want us to expand this conversation a little bit. I want to ask you a question now, and I would like Mr. Kundayo also to chime in on it when you are done. In the life of this present administration, do you see any good thing that they have done? Any good thing that the president has done?
Mr. Occrp, with what I'm hearing now, everything has been rubbished.
No. Take away what you have heard now.
What is that?
Before you heard this.
Can you tell me?
I'm asking you.
No, I've not seen any. If you have, tell me. Convince me. Don't tell me, convince me. Because you mentioned somebody was talking about rice. Did you see the rice? No, did you see the rice that they shared? Did you see it? Somebody should answer me. Were you not told that we should go and buy rice at 40,000 naira a bag? Where is it? That all the states have been given. Did you see the one of Lagos? Let us start from Lagos.
Well, Barrister, to answer your question, even though I'm not supposed to be answering your question, but rice was shared, and we know that senators and ministers got some of these bags of rice, and we also heard that in some parts of the country, these bags of rice were seen stored up in shops, and they were being rebagged.
I want to ask you, please.
They were being rebagged. Are you aware, Barrister?
I am not.
You're not aware that these bags of rice were seen in shops and they were being rebagged to be sold to the people?
You are not aware that governors were accused of giving these bags of rice to their cronies and party members?
I am coming.
No, Barrister, are you aware?
I am not aware.
Okay.
That's not the way to go.
Okay.
We are not in a refugee camp for you to be sharing things in that manner.
Okay, so you believe that things were shared?
Nothing was shared. They gave it to their cronies and said they shared it to me. Because this is something they do in order to placate or please their cronies.
Now you believe that they gave the rights to their cronies?
It's not for the public, so I cannot count on that. It's not for the public, it's not for me. They gave it to their people. So why would you say that if the right was given to Nigeria when you gave it to your governors and your ministers?
Barrister, when I asked that question, I wasn't talking in terms of palliatives. I mean, is there anything concrete you believe that this government,
I said I've not
in terms
seen
of reforms, in terms of infrastructure,
nothing.
in terms of reduction in the case of insecurity and all of that?
Why are they reversing their policy if it is good?
Like, which one has been reversed?
Are you paying subsidy that they told you is gone or not? Are you paying subsidy now or not? Tell me. The floating of the naira, what happened? Are you not borrowing money to shore up the naira again? The subsidy they remove, I told you here the other day that they want to borrow money to cushion the effect of the subsidy that was removed. Is that subsidy removal? Mr. Okoro, is that subsidy removal?
You don't think that he's done something about local government autonomy?
Is it functioning? Is it not this one that the matters are in court? When you do not think out with the constitution, you want to just say it's just that you want to get what do you call it, publicity stunt.
How about trying to establish state police?
Where is it? Is it functioning?
About trying to.
Is it functioning?
How about the super highway from Lagos to Calabar and from
Jesus Christ of Nazareth,
from Badagry to Sokoto?
This is on paper. Have they completed it?
But at least they are working.
The
life of this administration is just 18 months.
Hold on, listen very well. Money is being siphoned because of this project, because the National Assembly did not appropriate fund for that project. Is it true or false? So why would you on your own go ahead for something the National Assembly did not approve? You went ahead to buy a jet without approval from the National Assembly.
That's corruption.
How are you supporting such a thing now? That's what I'm asking you.
I'm just asking.
I said, why are you supporting it? Tell me why you are supporting it.
We don't have an opinion here.
No, I am asking. Hold on. I am answering your question. I am answering your question. That is what you call this philosopher is known for. When you ask a second question, you use the question to answer your question. So that it will sink home. Why are you telling me such a thing as an achievement? That because you want to build a road for me, therefore you should empty the treasury.
No,
but is that how things are done outside here?
Barrister Darlington,
yes.
Let's also take a look at some of the people that their names also mentioned. I'm talking, okay, we have that of William Ruto. We also have Joko Widodo. You know, in Indonesia, Joko Widodo, who was their president from 2014 to 2024, the people actually applauded him. As a matter of fact, he was the first non-military head of state that he had. And they talked about how democratically he ruled Indonesia, making the country to move from zero to multi-billion economy. How come his name made it to this list? Now, are you also seeing that there might be issues or personal reasons why some people's name will be mentioned to be corrupt presidents or leaders of nations?
Fina, I cannot discuss what is outside here. Charity begins at home.
Okay.
My own concern is Nigeria. What is going on here? I am not in Indonesia. Neither am I in Kenya. Let the people there talk about themselves.
Okay.
I can discuss Nigeria authoritatively because I am here. I know what is going on. I can talk about authoritatively.
But you know that this information being pulled out is not being done by Nigerians. It's being done by organized crime and corruption report projects. So why will you believe what they're saying when they are not within us? They are not in Nigeria.
Because I'm saying what
they are not seeing the clear view. They don't have a clear view of what is happening in Nigeria. They are international bodies. So how come they have a say in what is happening in Nigeria and you believe them?
They see more than us.
How do they see more than us? Are they living in Nigeria with us?
Listen very well. Do you think your leaders are hiding the money they stole in Nigeria? No. Most of our funds are brought there and they see it. They know who owns what. That is where they start from. They cannot hide their money in Nigeria because somebody is going to spill on them.
Okay.
So when they get this money, they take it abroad. Go and ask him Hurubadu. Go and ask him when he was EFCC chairman.
All right, Barrister, thank you. Now, Mr. Kundayo, let me have your take on, do you think that this present administration has done one good thing since they came into office?
Yes, I can mention one that I see.
All right.
That's the changing of the national anthem.
Okay. Nothing more.
You said one, and I answer your question.
No, I mean at least because the impression is that
I will stop now.
No, the impression is
I'll follow the steps, but I go further.
No, the impression is that the president is corrupt and all of that.
Let me tell you something. When you are talking about corruption, let's face it. When you are talking about corruption and stealing, they are not the same. As Jonathan said that time, and they use it against him. He was right. Stealing is when you take something that doesn't belong to you. Corruption is when you misuse the ethics of your office.
Exactly.
So you can award a project that doesn't exist. You can award a project, over award it. Maybe it costs 1,000, you are awarding 1 million. Even if the project is properly done, it's still corruption.
Exactly.
If you award project to somebody that is your relative or your family, even if the person did a good job, it's still corruption.
Exactly.
How so?
Because it is stated in your rules and regulations, the ethics of your office,
so the
that you cannot do this and this.
So if an organization or an individual is competent to...
Do you know why this former minister for power had to resign? Yes, because they came up against him.
That is company.
That he has a company that
even with the competence.
And the guy was good with something, but he had to resign. It happens abroad too. You can't do that because it is a way of protecting it. If you may go out, you may escape one, and you may not escape. You may succeed in one, you may not succeed in others. What I mean by that is that you may award to somebody, you get it, and the person may do a good job. The 9 other one may not do a good job.
Let me
and then you use that one to cover the rest.
Let's look at something. You've been in Nigeria for quite a long time. I dare say your lifetime. And in the past few years, let's say in the past 7-6 years, during the Yuletide, there's always scarcity of fuel. But this past year, 2024, regardless of the fact that fuel was expensive, but we didn't have that scarcity.
Okay.
Isn't that something that this administration should be complimented for?
I will give you. You see, what you should find out is that in those days, do people normally travel during that Yuletide? You see that a lot of people travel home. They travel here, they travel that. So there's a pressure on the fuel at that time. But now, most people don't want, they can't travel because they cannot afford the fuel.
I beg to disagree with you.
You may bet. You may even play chess game or Monopoly to disagree.
You're serious here, please. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people still travel.
Who told you that?
I am telling you that.
With the high cost of fuel and
let's go out. Let's start outside. Count how many vehicles is passing.
A lot of people still travel.
No. Go and give me the opinion pool.
Barrister, your thoughts on this, please.
Yes, Mr. Moses. One of the reasons why the fuel is available is because of what? A private refinery, Dangote refinery. The man is even exporting abroad, so there is plenty around. The man did it single-handedly, not your NNPC, Warri refinery or Kaduna refinery or the refinery in the moon. It is Dangote refinery, pure ED, and it's one-man business. You saw how they frustrated him. They didn't want him to roll out in the first place. Remember, the man had to become his own spokesperson. He began to do adverts. He began to fight for him to be free from this cabal. You saw it. So why are you now making that argument? You think they wanted Dangote to roll out? If not that man came out without even outsourcing the publicity and whatever to another person. He was the one doing he was the one that told us what was going on in Malta. The blending this thing. He was the one that told us how somebody sold the entire land in Lekki for $100 million to him. Did you know of all these things? So it was Dangote and no other person. Don't give it to government. They never wanted that thing to come alive. You saw all the frustrations. So why are you saying that the fuel was available? At what cost? If we buy it like they are buying it in Libya, what will happen? No, tell me. Since you want us to go that route, where is the money in the first place for you to travel? Who told you that many people traveled?
I don't know where you got his statistics.
You're working here.
Are you serious? I'm the only one working, Abi. I cannot take a excuse and touch home and come back. Even the aviation itself, can you travel with how many people travel by air? How many people? At 400,000 naira, one-way ticket. Can you imagine? 400,000 naira, just 45 minutes flight. How many people can afford it? So please, don't compare incomparable. I don't want to hear all this that people are trying to. There is nothing to praise here, nothing. Nothing to praise. Just begin to tick the boxes. Where did he meet these things when he came into office? Where did he meet it? And why is it under his word? Things have escalated. Is that reform? The man that is doing it in Argentina, please, did you hear that the people of Argentina, they are begging for food?
Barrister, don't you believe that before things can get better, they might have to...
Are you serious?
They might get bad.
Okay, yes.
Don't you buy into that ideology?
Okay, hold on. No. If you are dying because there is no food, and somebody said, don't worry, food is coming. Then when you now die, who will eat the food? Please, somebody should tell me. You are dying, and somebody said, no, don't worry, don't continue to suffer. I am doing reform. Then when in the process you now die, who will benefit from the reform? Please, where is it in the whole world that when you are reforming, people must die? Tell me, where is it? Is it not when you are reforming, things will be looking up? When you are reforming, it's like a sick man.
No, but don't you think that was as a result of the fact that, the present administration inherited? When I mean, that was what Ababio said. He said they inherited, Nigeria that happens to be on life support. And that was why all the policies that the present administration is putting in place is kind of making us suffer.
Listen, when Shagari was about to fail, or he has failed, they look for somebody to blame, and that was Ghana people. They said Ghana people took over our job, they destroyed the economy. That was why you heard of Ghana must go. They now said that Ghana people should leave, that they are the problem of Nigeria. Is that not what happened? When Ghana left, what happened? Did it become better? They must look for an excuse. My happiness is that it is their government that handed over to their government. So all this talk that economy was a life for thought, this and that, is all what? Hogwash to me. It doesn't add up. You are the one, you saw it, you knew what happened, you are supporting it. So why are you blaming anybody now?
Is he really aware?
Because all the things you inherited, you have even made it worse.
All right.
Somebody was in a hospital sick bed, and the doctor was managing that patient. The man was moving about. He will wake up, he will go and ease himself, he will talk to his people. Then you now came and say, no, this man is not getting better. I am a doctor, I know this particular sickness, I know how to cure it. That the people of the patient should give you a chance, that you are going to heal me in 1 second. They say, you say, yeah, that's what you went to go and read in India, that they should give you a chance, that you know the strategy. They now said, okay, the other doctor that was managing, please, relax. We have seen a better doctor. The day you took over the management of that patient, the man went into coma. He went into coma. And from there, into ICU. Before the people started crying, running helter-skelter.
Okay.
What does that tell you? It means that you are a fake doctor. You don't know what you are doing.
Please hold on to your line of thought. We have to go to Benin now, where Comrade Roy is standing by for us. Good morning, Comrade Roy, and happy 2025 to you.
Happy 2020.
Hello, Comrade Roy. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
I said, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Happy 2025. How is Benin this morning? What's it like?
Benin is very calm, very cool. The only thing, what I noticed in Benin is that I saw people contributing money together. That is the height of it. Since I was born, I've never seen that kind of scenario.
Can you take that again? Can you take that again? You didn't come out clearly here.
I said, what I just saw in Benin at this festive period, see 3 persons contributing money together just to buy 1 chicken. It comes for a deep sober reflection. Nigeria have not been to this level where we follow ourselves.
Okay.
I have never seen it before, but
okay. History starts from one day. It's good that you have seen it happen in your lifetime now, that 3 people are contributing money to buy 1 chicken, in 2024. Oh, well, we pray that 2025 gets better than that. Now, let's get into business. The Occrp, I'm aware you know about Occrp. They have come out with a report that says that our president is the 3rd most corrupt leader in the world. What's your reaction to that report?
Their report, not I subscribe to their report. I believe that they give our president a kind of a bridge to say it's in 3rd position. If I were to interrogate that report, I think the most corrupt president in the world. Considering what is being done, that's the reason why I'm fighting this report. It cannot be 3rd. It cannot be 3rd because this is a sentimental report. It has to be the 1st. Considering what is on ground as of today, this is
Comrade Roy, let us know what is on ground. How did you come up with this assessment? How did you come up with this assessment that he's supposed to be number one? What are your reasons?
We have ground. How can you now? We are talking about super highway, and you know the money involved in super highway. Have you do a breakdown of that super highway and ask yourself, why will we be using this kilometer in the name of super highway? Is it super highway that is our problem now? When it is not properly executed, it's corruption. It's only Nigerian things like that celebrated. That is my you can see misapplication of idea. It's even corruption. Misapplication is corruption. Doing what you are not supposed to do is corruption. There are many things that are going on in this country that I have every reason to say we have a president corrupt. Thank God that it's not coming from me. The records are there. How do you come institute a project? You inflate records. You inflate figures. You pay. You are not bothered. That is even worse than corruption. And these are the one I built my conclusion on. He had to be the first. He had to be the first. First and most, a president is corrupt. All the other institutions of government, they will also be corrupt. And that's the reason why we talk about the EFCC, we talk about the ICPC. When you look at it, we talk about the police, educational sector, we talk about the infrastructure development. Oh, they are all suffering, they all have their own. That's my own concern about it. A very pragmatic leader is a leader who sees these people. Despite the reform you are coming from, people will see what you are. For example, if you move Singapore, we saw what happened in Singapore. The role you play. It was not about you are doing a reform. When you are doing a reform, say that our local palace, that weekend when they go good, now from a Friday they know. If on Friday there's you, your weekend will not be good. With the reform are even deforming us. We are being deformed of what to be reformed. We are supposed to target the worst president that have ever happened in the history of Nigeria. Because there is nothing that is building that is giving us results. I have not noticed it. I have not feel it. I just told you just that 3 persons now contribute money to buy tickets. That will tell you that Nigerians are not being reformed, rather they are being deformed. You talk about the fuel just outside. As at this period, there was no scarcity of fuel allowed. The reasons, these are a lazy man approach to government and governance. You cannot be told there is no scarcity of fuel. Ask yourself, Mr. Moses, when last did you feel your when last will you have to go to the filling station and fill your? These are the issues you need to consider. How many fuel consumption? What is the liters of consumption that are going on in Nigeria? I can't remember just sincerely, I was able to tank. I can't remember. You need to, before you want to fill your tank, you ride on that. You must take a critical evaluation of all the whole scenario. You must sit down to think about it. Some persons are supposed to travel this period. Do you know how many persons are supposed to travel did not travel? I have never missed going to my village to celebrate Christmas and New Year. But this is the first time it's happened to me. Nigeria is happening to me that I cannot even go and see my mother. I can't go and see my father. I remember Benin City. It's not because I don't think I'm where I'm headed, but because of lack to fill my tank. If I'm to fill my tank now, not less than 80,000 will enter into my tank to go to the village. If I'm coming back, just do your calculation. Okay. When you do your calculation, you know that the issue of fuel is not out of government action. It's a result of government inefficiency. Therefore, we should not. It's a lazy man approach.
They don't really want to fill the tank. They leave room for some, circulation and all of that.
When did you finish on the road?
Excuse me. But what is the position of the CNG initiative in Edo State?
That scam. If you can tell your cameraman, you can go to where the CNG job, you go there. It's as chaos, very chaotic. If you go there, it's not different from what happened in Hellfire. You can see the people and ask of which benefit. What was even the scientific discovery analysis concerning this CNG? People will just go there and go and gather. Throughout the whole day, you cannot even work because we want to source for it. And we saw it, we saw it because of the usage of that CNG. A car just got exploded and therefore there was no, all these things were not properly planned. We hurried to put it's not different from fire brigade approach that have never been shown to us. You cannot be talking about CNG when people are suffering. Then you go there this morning, as early as this morning, you go to whip for Nigeria that in 21st century we are still at this level. Don't celebrate the CNG as far as concerned. We never get it, and I will never celebrate it because the instances I've referred to, I've seen they are failure. They are navigating towards failure.
No, we're talking about the state of the nation now, and then some people have come up to, ask Nigerians to try as much as they can, to be steadfast in love for the country, Nigeria, and also to throw their weight behind the president, given the fact that he has so many policies, the likes of Betta Edun. She said that she's enjoying Nigerians to, be steadfast with the president's administration, that in no distant time they'll be able to do something, saying that he inherited, a very bad economy from his predecessor. What do you have to say about this before we move over to the second topic of conversation?
Those are kind of language I don't want to hear. You continue to be swimming the ocean of brain. You are blaming everybody. You are not coming with idea. You are not doing something that is fantastic. The removal of subsidy was done it. What do you take? You rate it. Do you know what that government has spent on palliative? You just mentioned a woman.
You want Nigeria to be bankrupted?
If she was patriotic, we should not have remained government. The shenanigans are prayer that makes was she not the minister before? Unceremoniously, she was voted out. If we are a country where we have moral, if we are a country where there is value, those are not representatives who should be addressing Nigeria, who should be telling us. In her position, what did she do? She messed everything up. She's even one of those things who even mess everything up for Tinubu justifiable to speak to us on patriotism because she's a stranger to the principle and idea of patriotism. Was she telling us?
Now, before we move into the second topic of discussion, let's touch base with our Occrp station and get a feel of what's happening in Occrp about the new year. Good morning, Nduwapale is there. Okay, I understand that we'll get back to Occrp when they join us. Now, let's move over to the second topic of discussion. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what IPAC had said about politics in Nigeria. Please stay with us and don't go.
We're looking at the Inter-Party Advisory Council, that's IPAC, as they have urged government to tackle insecurity, corruption, that we just spoke about, and economic challenges in the new year, 2025. Let's talk about this one when we come back from this break.
Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning, and it's time for us to move over to the second topic of conversation, where the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has stated that Nigeria survived the past year by the grace of God. In a statement, IPAC's national chairman, Yusuf Dantale, called on the government to focus on tackling insecurity, corruption, economic challenges, food security, and social amenities in the year ahead. The council also urged Nigerians to unite in strengthening the country's democracy for future generations. Former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Betta Edun, expressed optimism for the future, urging Nigerians to remain hopeful. In her New Year message, she praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for its effort to improve the economy, describing 2025 as a year of restoration and new possibilities. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), led by President Joao Ajaero, urged the government to prioritize citizens' welfare and announce plans to push for a wage increase to address the high cost of living. The NLC also called for the withdrawal of the federal government tax bill from the National Assembly to allow for broader consultation. Additionally, In a review of the 2025 budget, there's a revelation that a planned expenditure of $8.6 billion is being mapped out for overhauling engines in the presidential air fleet, with $5.5 billion allocated for the 5N FGW engines and $3.1 billion for Falcon 7X engines. You know, and then Nigerians who ask, where are we really headed to? What is happening, as the case may be? We still have it also in the studio. We still have Barrister Darlington Agumore with us in the studio, and then also have Mr. Lawale Kundayo, and also we have Comrade Roy there in our Benin station. We have Ndu Obaleze, who'll be joining us from our Occrp station also. Now, let me start off with you now, quite interestingly, from Mr. Lawale Kundayo. You know, what do you have to say about this whole thing that we wrote down? Let's start off from the issue. You know, we have another revolution again, made it again to our radar as regards the budget proper, where we're getting that $8.6 billion. $8.6 billion naira, I beg your pardon.
You're in love with dollars. So.
Why would I be? I'm sorry about that, okay? Please, Nigerians, 8.6 billion naira, okay? You know, it's been mapped for overhauling of engines. We're talking about the 5N FGW. We're talking about the 7X engines and all that. Remember that we have Airbus A320 also being bought recently. So if we're doing this overhauling, we should also include that. What do you have to say about this? With our recent economic situation.
In a country in which we don't have a national carrier, you get it, and the presidency has over 10 aircraft for himself and maintaining this and everything. I believe government is making money from tax. So tax comes from when people are making profits. Then you tax them. It's a profit after taxation. So the more profit you make, the more money the government makes. But in Nigeria, it's quite different. Because this airline, I was reading something about American airline. I mean, this Air Force One. They said there's no specific aircraft called Air Force One that the presidency, any aircraft that is available is what is going to use. So anyone is using is the one they call Air Force One. So that's why America has its own, fleet, national carrier and everything. Now, the president is supposed to here now, and that's why money is coming in. You get it? They make money from when the airline is progressing, the government will be progressing. But here, how do we maintain all that? And they will just bought another one last year, 150 billion, added to it, and they will still have to maintain that one again. I was even told that the national carrier, they normally call the Air Force One. There's a name they call it. They said they commissioned it in 1990. American aircraft commissioned in 1990, carrying the president, is commissioned in 1990. That aircraft has been operating since 1919. And I sat down and calculated 30-something years. And it's still useful. Now, and look at our own. There is nothing. This one is like we bought another one. Now we want to maintain. And we are maintaining an aircraft. And from where we don't have a national carrier. That's corruption. To me, it's corruption. One. Second, how much did we use in renovating the vice president's lodge? Now, during the budget, when we were reviewing the budget in the national, the Senate, I think one of these reps, senator, mentioned that in the ministry they keep buying vehicles. There's always provision for vehicle every year in the budget in the ministry. Did you hear that?
Computers.
Yes, that every year. How can you be making provision for vehicle in each ministry every year? So what happened to the vehicle last year? What happened to the computers last year? Where the American president is using his own vehicle, plane, aircraft from 1990 up to now, and they're still using it. And here in our ministry, how many ministries we have? Over like more than 50 or 60 or something. And each one is making provisions for whatever. Vehicles, computers, furniture, every year.
Cheers. Table.
Even the reps that are supposed to maintain the control that, they also buy their own furniture allowance. Is that not it? There's provision for their own financial allowance. So who's going to check who?
Mr. Lawal,
You get what I when everybody is free for all. So who's going to check who now?
you made mention of tax when you're talking. You said that, for example, America, they also have tax system, and that is where they get most of their money from. But we have a new tax reform bill. They've been causing issues, kind of becoming a bit controversial on the table of the National Assembly. Some people are calling for this tax reform bill to be moved away. Now, how do you not expect the government to also generate money? If we're talking about tax reform, and some people are kicking against it up until today.
Listen, your body language speaks a lot. If you are bringing in something new, they want to see how you are coming from. You get what are those ones that you've been doing. You get how effective are they? So we keep having reform. I'm not against the tax reform. What I am looking at is it should be put into the public opinion. You get it? So that let it be properly scrutinized. Me, I support resource control for the states. That will also curb corruption a lot. In fact, it will put less pressure on the presidency. Instead of all this money, you vote for money for agriculture, you want to share it across all the states plus the local government. The money disappears. It's easy to disappear. You get, because somebody is telling me that you are buying tractor for local government in Lagos State. In Lagos State, where do you want to use the tractor in Lagos State? You want to demolish people and people's houses and convert it to farm. So where do you want to use tractor in Lagos State? So these people that did this High Park and the one we talk about, this corruption monitoring organization, they look at all these things because they are not babies. Many of them are experts. They look at it and look at what you have and say, no, this one is not possible.
Right.
That's how they come up with all these things. So we have loads and loads of it.
All right, then. Thank you very much for your take there. Let me come to the barrister. Barrister, I'd like you to help me make sense of a few things now. And I'd like us to be, let's make sense of the fact that this administration in the 2025 budget has earmarked about 8.6 billion naira for the maintenance of air fleet. And you do recall what happened when, right after the president got a plane, the vice president had to, forego traveling because a bird broke the windshield of his own aircraft. And then, there was a call that the vice president should also get a plane to carry him around. And all of this is on the premise of Nigeria servicing debts, borrowed monies with about 33% of its 49 or 47 trillion naira budget, 47.9 trillion budget. Help me make sense of it.
Moses, what you are looking at or what you are trying to describe is profligacy. Nothing else. Profligacy. All those planes in the presidential fleet, all the parts there, they have expiration dates. All you need to do is remove it and replace it with a new one. And the plane is good to go. In fact, anything mechanical, the engine room is the engine. Even your car, when the car is getting old, you feel like this car is no longer. If you buy a new engine and put on that car, it can fly, not even run on the road.
No, but barrister, airplanes are not like that. You have to take them for C check. Airplanes are being taken care of by those who manufacture them and all that. Go for C check.
The C check you are talking about, is it not replacing old parts? What else is there?
So we can't do it in Nigeria. So we have to take it to the countries or the people that manufacture. So that's why the money is increasing.
If you do that and buy a new one, which one is cheaper?
Okay, so you clearly don't think that the vice president deserves a new aircraft.
Do you even know? Let me even tell you where the corruption.
Barrister, you think the vice president doesn't deserve a sound new aircraft?
Which is sound?
For his
The ones in the presidential are there.
That one malfunctioned.
Who told you that? All of them malfunctioned, though, Mr. Guru. All of them malfunctioned. Is that what they're telling me? It's not that because Tinubu bought a new one, then his people said our son must get his own new plane. Didn't you hear when the argument was raging all over the place? The strange object that fell on his plane in US, did you see it?
Exactly the question.
Did you see
think
it?
It doesn't deserve a new airplane?
Did you see it? Just because the president got a presidential jet on his own accord without reference to the National Assembly for appropriation.
Okay.
Therefore, the vice must get.
All right, Barrister Darlington.
And let me tell you the most corruptive aspect of this issue. Okay. The money for this maintenance is domiciled in the National Security Advisor's office.
Okay.
All right. What does that tell you? Is he an engineer? What does he know about such a matter?
All right. Okay.
Meanwhile, the aviation ministry are there.
Mr. Darlington, we need to get to Occrp now to get the feed from our outstation in Occrp. Good morning to you, Ndo Akwaleze, and Happy New Year. This is 2025. Hello, Ndo, I can't hear you. Okay, let's go back to Benin now. We seem to be having our audio challenges with Occrp. We'll go back to Occrp when we fix it. Now, Comrade Roy, we are at it again. So much money earmarked for fixing airplane in the presidential fleet. Is that what we should be talking about now? What's your reaction?
Absolutely. That is also another reason. It is because of corruption we are even discussing this. If you go and take the life history of those initially that was budgeted, the year we bought for the presidency, it is because of go to market and be looking for the worst one to buy because we are not being related. They are prepared. They go to the market and be looking for the worst because the more they get the worst, they want to invest money for maintenance and what have you. Is it now we'll be discussing about that? We have just been told the records are the first one since 1990 have been commissioned. There are no issues. The vice president is saying that I also need an airplane. We are saying a presidential flight where we have 10, is that not reasonable enough? How are we not discussing about the vice president also need his own personal? That also the whole issue that the act of governance in Nigeria is very personalistic. They are there about the welfare people. Which is a portion of the government. The security is quite fundamental for any government. But the Nigerian leaders are not bothered about what affected. Today we are talking about is only going to tackle insecurity. Do we supposed to make that one to be an issue? They have seen that. Do we supposed to be talking about Ikanejege when you have been there for over 18 years? We have never a roadmap for all of us to know that we are moving, we are getting towards progression. We are talking about an aircraft. None of us, anything that has to do with the aircraft, they will convert the money to dollars and take it to international community to go and fix. We keep on receiving reports like this. Our engineers. There is no year, there is no money graduating from Nigeria. What is Nigerian government doing in that? And this is why I'm also bothered about ASU. ASU as an organization, what are they doing? These are not rights. People design it. People design the aircraft. Nigeria is doing. We must begin to look at the one, and that's the reason why I suggested that Nigeria have lost practicing democracy. We have to develop and formulate an indigenous method to go over the democracy we are practicing and messing of the whole and understanding it. We must indigenous how we should govern ourselves. If it was introduced to Nigeria, I was told the Benin Kingdom we are doing well perfectly because we have a system that we map for ourselves. It was working. We went to go and embrace democracy, and nothing is going on. Nothing is working. We are now rotating around every month. People will put for corruption. People will every year you will see computer government agency one computer. I see one computer for 12 years.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Comrade Roy. But there's another part of this issue that I want us to touch on: the emergence or re-emergence of Better Edu. Isn't it interesting that a former minister of the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry, Better Edu, is now speaking up and expressing optimism for the future? What do you think played out? Is it that there's a feeling that the outcry for justice has, died down? Is that why she's speaking up now? We know that there's a new person at the helm of affairs at the humanitarian ministry. Oh, Barrister, you want to respond? Okay.
It is part of the corruption.
Well, let's have the barrister respond, and then we'll go back
to it. It's part of the corruption. There's no other way to define it. That is corruption. The woman is speaking because she's not in jail. She wants to massage the ego of her paymaster. Nothing else.
Yeah, she's
just trying to be. She's just trying to.
What is the sense? How does this make you feel now, Barrister?
I feel that
with all the allegations leveled against her, we didn't hear that she was thoroughly investigated. We didn't see the report of the investigation. We didn't hear that she was taken to court or anything. And now she's asking us to be optimistic.
Good. So
optimistic. 2025.
So what do you think happened? What do you think happened to that lady or that woman? Is it not because somebody doesn't want her to be prosecuted? Are you telling me that if Tinubu were to tell EFCC prosecute this woman, they will say no? Please, somebody should answer me.
Should Tinubu tell EFCC?
Exactly the question I wanted to ask.
Oh my
should
God.
he?
Please, you know that in Nigeria, the Nigerian president is all powerful. He decides who will live and who will die. Who decide who will be prosecuted and who will not be prosecuted.
First of all, ordinarily, this person was suspended. This person was suspended. Shouldn't the EFCC have gone ahead to prosecute without being told?
Moses, you are talking as if you don't know how this thing works.
I don't.
It is the person they decide to prosecute that will be prosecuted.
So you think Nigeria actually happens to be for two level of people?
Exactly.
Those who are
if they are good book, Moses, you can do no wrong. Or someone will tell you that. Or someone will told you that if you come to APC, your sins are forgiven.
No, Barrister,
so when you are about that, what are you arguing again?
Sorry, please. Okay.
What is the argument?
Barrister, let me
there are people who have done worse than Betta Edu.
Barrister, let's listen to what Betta Edu said, and she said something. She said, Mr. President means well. Good intention needs time to yield results. I believe in Nigerian project. I have always given my all to Nigeria and Nigerians. Nothing will ever change that. Those were her words.
Because yes, now she's trying to be grateful to Tinubu for saving her from going to jail. Is that not what she's trying to do here? And is that what you are trying to let me know? As if we don't know what happened. There are people who have done worse. How about Haji Sariki, the man who duped the whole Nigeria with Nigerian Air? Fina, where is he? Is he not working about freely? No, tell me. When you see all these things, you are still asking questions. This is a man who's supposed to, in fact, the matter would have been decided in 24 hours for him to go to jail. But they just granted him bail and the matter has been warehoused. That matter, it will outlive Tinubu's regime. Haji Sariki will not go anywhere. That matter will not go anywhere. How about APC national chairman, Ganduje? You can go on and on and on and on, and you are still asking questions about corruption. These are the things the international community are looking at. And when we say it here, you said, why did you say so? I said if they do that thing again, Tinubu will be number one because of what is going on under his watch. Under his watch. That media chat told me everything I need to know about him. When he said that he cannot prove, even when the thing is thinking, your national security advisor told you that the weapons they bought for the military, that the same military are selling it to terrorists. A very damning report.
But Barrister, is there anything happening now that has not happened in previous administrations?
Mr. Okoro, no matter how long something has happened, a leader must come and correct it.
No,
or must it continue?
I'm just asking.
The Tinubu president, we have never heard of it. All the things that happened during the last year election, we never heard of it. That a Nigerian leader will be accused of so many things from CSU and the FBI. We never heard of it. It is a novel idea in Nigeria. If you want to know, mention one person that has such a record.
We had a former president who could not present his school certificate, yet he became president and ruled for 8 years.
He didn't forge any now. He didn't bring anything from a school that was not in existence.
No, but he couldn't present.
Even
the one he presented had the different names from the school he attended and the name of the school now.
Mr. Okoro, the constitution said that if you can prove that you can read and write, that is where the problem starts. The constitution did not say you should go and forge one and bring. Get it right. The constitution did not say because you don't have a certificate, you should go and forge one.
No, but that is what I'm saying. The former president also had that same issue of forgery. Because what he presented was different from what we got. What it's supposed to be.
Okay, because you are not allowed it, that's why you're now supporting this one.
I'm not supporting, I'm just asking.
But you are just telling me now. If you look at it, that was the only thing. That was the only thing that happened under Buhari. But this one now, he broke record. He broke record on all fronts.
All right then.
He broke record.
Before we go to Occrp, that question originally was for Comrade Roy. Comrade Roy, what's your take on that? If you do recall the question.
Again, I think the Nigerian press is another issue in this country. I see no reason why you Dr. Betta do the position he took about Nigeria. We are discussing it. Is that an issue? I wrote on my page problem of the way we are heading to that 2025 going to be a good Nigeria. We are not discussing that. We are talking about a woman that was voted out of government, out of our action. There are ways Nigeria private people that are not supposed to be president. Why are we discussing that too? What's so serious about her? Is she the one to tell me to be optimistic? I know that the future is not bright. When I know the policy of the government is fitable, when I know the government is...
If you listen attentively, you would understand where the question is coming from. The question is not discussing the importance of better edu. The question borders on corruption, actually, because this is a person who was suspended, but we didn't hear of any trial taking place, and then now she's speaking up. So I was going to ask for your take, but you obviously missed out on the question, and you went anyway. Let's move over to Occrp studio now, where we have Undo Okpaleze standing by. Undo Okpaleze, IPAC has come out to say that Nigerians survived the past year by the grace of God, and they made this statement. And they called on the government to focus on tackling insecurity, corruption, economic challenges, food security, and the rest. But we know that IPAC, which of course is Inter-Party Advisory Council, oversee parties and all of that, but every political party in the National Assembly, in the government, have partaken in the largesse. We've seen issues, we've seen cases where envelopes, emails were sent, monies were sent, cars were bought for both the opposition and the party, and none of the political office holders stood up to say, no, I will reject this because it doesn't speak to benefiting the people. Should IPAC be speaking up at all?
Yeah, IPAC is speaking as a body, but the members of the National Assembly you are talking about, who are partaking in the sharing of the largesse, are actually acting on their individual capacity. You see, it's one thing about Nigeria, where the parties, people just use the parties as vehicles to get to power, not abiding by the rules and regulations of the political parties. They are not even convinced about the leanings, the leanings of the parties, what they stand for. Unlike abroad, where people go to where, they have common interests and they share views and values. But here in Nigeria, you just use a party to come to power. So that party has no more powers when you are already in power, you ride them. So what they are doing in the National Assembly, what IPAC is now saying, shows that the individual political parties that constitute IPAC cannot hold their members accountable. They don't have ways of bringing them to account for what they are doing, the sharing, so to say. So they are now crying like a group, like all of us, the masses of this country, because whether we like it or not, what they said are that's the true situation in Nigeria. We have insecurity that we cannot cope. We have food crisis. We have corruption. The whole world, you have seen the record that Nigeria is ranking, our Nigerian president is ranking the third in the whole of the world. That shows you the level of corruption. So what the IPAC has said is actually the true situation on the ground. But as to your question, as a body,
Sure.
they
Let's
have
move over to
the
Benin
armies
get,
and the rules.
Thank you very much,
powers to,
That's from our Occrp station. Let's move over to Benin and get Comrade Roy's concluding thoughts. Comrade Roy, can we have your concluding thoughts? We are running out of time.
Okay, thank you. I think APAC is only doing what they are supposed to do. There's nothing, they are a body of political parties. They are acting at that level. If you go to the National Assembly, when they are about to share, we have never seen a division. Sharing formula is being defined in the National Assembly. We have never seen a division. They are all united. They are united in corruption, united in oppressive tendency to continue to suppress Nigeria. They all take decisions in a direction. The parties is immaterial. You see how people will fought for the obedience, benefited from the obedience movement now. They have seen JTC that principle. They have run away from the labor. They have married the party in power, and they are about tomorrow. I have assured them that when you come next time, we'll give you ticket. You recall when the president went to the National Assembly. He assured them that all of you will be here. Therefore, what does that show to you? That if you are in another political party where you can easily second
where we still have Barrister Darlington Agomo and Mr. Ekunda Yolawal. Barrister Darlington, can we have your concluding thoughts?
Yes, when you say people in the National Assembly, all of them concord, you cannot blame them because the times are different. If any of them reject anything that gave them from the presidency, they will place a treasonable felony on their head and say they want to bring down the government.
Really?
That yes, they are not working in tandem with the government, that they disobey the president. They will bring charges that even you will be shocked at what they have done to these people. So that is the major reason. It's not as if they don't have men of conscience in that assembly. We have. But when they look at that man who said that we are running a poor budget, this is what happened to him, okay. And so many other people. Even in the civil society, look at those who want to speak up. People like Dele Faroti. So when you see all this, what are you now talking about? To make matters worse, the Nigerian society is so docile.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister Darlington.
So if we have an active society citizenship, oh my God, people can carry placard and before you know it, thousands of people will follow them.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Darlington. Mr. Kundayo, can we have your concluding thoughts, sir?
Yes, what I have to say is that this, what the international forum did, is what many organizations in Nigeria are also saying now. So why are they now saying that those people are biased? When those ones in Nigeria are already saying, IPAC is in Nigeria now, and so many others, they are saying it in Nigeria. Nigerians are saying it. You get it? I will see it openly in what is happening in National Assembly, plus what the Senate President is saying all over the place. So it's glaring that that thing is validated.
Okay, thank you very much. And this will be a better place, good place to anchor this conversation. We've been speaking with Barrister Darlington Agomo, a lawyer and political analyst and VOP in-house analyst. We also had Mr. Ekundayo, who is a political analyst and a farmer, as well as an educationist. We also had Comrade Roy, a rehab board, that joined us from our Benin studio. He's an activist and a political analyst. And our correspondent in Occrp, Ndo Okbaleze, was also on the show. Gentlemen, thanks for being on this show. That's how far we can go on this conversation. And from my colleagues here, Moses Humphrey. Moses?
It's the first day of the year. I was hoping that we'll all speak positivity. Now, Barrister, I'd like you to say something positive for Nigeria as we go to India. One word.
For Nigeria.
One phrase. Yes. One phrase.
For Nigeria.
Something positive.
They should wake up.
Okay.
That's positive.
They should wake up. We have been sleeping on our right for over a year.
All right. Well, I pray
for several years.
I pray that Nigerians will enjoy better things in 2025. I wish you the very best. Happy New Year once again. I'm Moses Humphrey.
Fina?
And I'm Fina Okichuku. Do well to enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of the year 2025. I know that this year, from the look of things, it promises to be interesting, and I know it's going to be productive. Nigerians, we need to stand up, like Barrister Darlington rightly say. Stand up, ask questions, and do the needful.
And I am Chukwuma Okoro. Welcome to 2025, and bye for now.